Welcome to the call tonight. Just want to talk a little bit about what do you do on a daily basis to actually grow your business. And so, a lot of you guys are maybe stay-at-home moms or single moms, or you're, doing this around a career. And so you want to get the most out of your time, right? Time's kind of like the limited resource that we all have that we wish we had more of. And so what's going to give you the biggest impact on a daily basis to be able to reach the goals that you have? And so, some of the things that I have that I wanted to share with you, we've got up on the screen, and it's some of the things that have kind of been the core things we've talked about over time now. And you see up there, obviously, if you're just getting started, you want to clean up your Facebook page. Make being active on Facebook a daily part of what you do. For me, I had to rack my brain a little bit today to find some things to post about. And, just by you getting out there and showing some of your personality, showing some of your life, it's going to people. One of my takeaways from this weekend at Teamlet University was Mariana Martinelli. She shared about branding, and she said when people know you and like you, they trust you, and they're a lot more willing to respond to a message that you send them or to respond to one of your posts. And so, if they don't really know you, you could have a lot of friends on Facebook, but if you don't have much engagement with them, so try to find ways to post or to react to or to comment on people's posts. It's kind of like a little bit of investment that you do in someone else, right? And as you make little investments here and there by showing interest in them and their life, that's obviously going to open them up, so they're going to be more interested in you and what you're doing and being more receptive to anything you might share with them. And so, making sure you're getting lots of engagement. I think all of us have a lot of room for expanding our networks on social media. So what you should do is think of the type of person that you want to attract into your business. If that's, and think about when you're posting, what are the kind of things that those people want? So I was reviewing some notes from a training that I went through about building your business on social media. And if you think about your prospect that you have or the type of person that you want to recruit, start sharing things about your business. When you are posting about business and products, always keep in mind, make sure that your post gets across the statement of what that person would want, right? That it appeals to what they would want. Adding new friends, Facebook, like Blake has taught us, is going to suggest friends to you. That doesn't mean they're the perfect person for you to add. So if you do, if you are looking through different people to add as a friend, take 20, 30 seconds, flip through their Facebook profile and see if they're a kind of person that's positive. Check if they have good engagement on their posts and, see what kind of vibe you get from that person. But I think we all have room for improvement, and especially myself on adding new people. I've realized I'm kind of going back through my, your friends list in Facebook is your contact list. And so when you're going through there, I'm messaging out and reaching out to people and just sending a message and just saying, hey, how's life? How's everything going? I just came across your profile, wanted to say hi, just trying to get into some conversation with people. And I have a lot of people that don't, that are not responding even just to a message like that. And so part of that's because they're people I haven't talked to for 5 or 10 years. And so, add new people, try to start to interact with them some more. And then once you do get up to that 5,000 limit of how many friends you can have, then you can be a little bit more selective on replacing some of those old friends that aren't really going to be beneficial to have in your friends list and people that you're not really connecting with anyway. And so, posting daily, and I think recruiting daily. One thing that I try to focus on is making sure that I hold myself accountable to a certain number of people that I'm going to reach out to and recruit, or at least get into a conversation with to be able to share the opportunity with them on a daily basis. And when you do reach out to people, my recommendation is, I think it's really easy. We all have this sense of urgency that we want to get someone started right now. We want them to sign up. We want them to join the business. And so our initial reaction is just to kind of slam them right off the bat with our opportunity and say, hey, I'm with New Skin and you can make money and you should join my team and you'd be so great. I think you need to kind of slow down a teeny bit to go faster and send a couple messages to kind of build some rapport with that person. And a lot of times when you're asking about their life, their family, their job, something may open up where you could say, oh, really? Well, I've been able to make extra money from home. This is maybe something that you should take a look at. And, when someone responds to you and they say, well, what about you? What are you up to? That's, an opportunity, an invitation for you to be able to share something with them about your business and what you're doing and how it's impacting your life that could create curiosity and cause them to want to know more. And so set a goal for yourself of number of people that you're going to reach out to on a daily basis. I think this is the number one thing to do every day. It's the number one most important thing for me that I try to focus on is to always be building my business. And you guys that are leaders now, you've done your LOI, you've become an executive. It's really easy. You have kind of your core group of your team, and it's really easy to get into management mode, where you maybe stop doing the things that you did in the first place to get where you are now. And it's really easy just to think, okay, I've got 3 or 4 great people. If I can just get them to executive this month, and that's going to be, this many points of volume, I'll make this much money. And we end up just kind of camping on those people and kind of bopping them on the head, kind of coaching them, trying to get them to work. And what happens is it kind of slows things down, and we get out of doing what we did in the first place to build our business to where we got it. And so setting that example for your team of always recruiting and being out there, being the leader for your team is going to be really important, leading by example. So that's what I'm working on, to be able to get to the point where I can be adding new people into the training group and getting them posting on a daily basis to set the example for you guys. And so I'm working on that every day. And then learning every day, I think you guys, it's really important to work on yourself and your mindset. In this business, there's ups and downs. Derek Tillotson this morning talked on the One Team Global Generals call, and he just said that basically his dad is one of the founding distributors of the company, someone that's been among the top most successful people in network marketing in the whole world and among all companies. And he told his son Derek that this business is essentially a personal development program disguised as a business. And so you are getting ups and downs. And he actually quoted Brent, and basically he mentioned that a lot of people, when they first start, their emotions are all over the board. When they get someone started, they're ecstatic, on top of the moon, life is so good. And then when someone quits or doesn't do what they say they're going to do, then it's like the world's over, right? It's like my business is over. I'm never going to be able to be successful with this business. And so, I think what Brent is so good at, and Brent even talks about Jeff Mack, that even if, a celebrity or the president of the United States were to sign up in the business, he'd be like, okay, cool. When are they going to do their first post, right? And if they were to come back later and say, oh shoot, they actually quit, they're not going to do it, he'd be like, okay, great. Like no big deal. And so kind of have a long-term vision of what you're building and focus on working on your mindset every day so that you can build up that internal strength and focus on staying positive and uplifting yourself with, positive affirmations, writing your goals down. And I've just learned that you need to really be able to see yourself there first, see yourself on that trip to South Africa, see yourself as a Ruby making $3,000 per month. And so that you can really get to the point where you actually really believe you can do it. And then obviously the building blocks of our business are coming to events. And so make sure you know when the next event is. As of right now, it's this one right here, and it's also the 10 at 10s that we do every single night. Make sure you're getting your team plugged into those. One thing that Mark Mabry, he's an older team elite, what he shared with us is that the events, an event could be Team Elite University, it could be one of these calls, it could be the 10 at 10s, is basically that's what really builds the fire inside, helps you catch the vision. And when you're not plugging into these calls, you start to lose that fire. And so he said, stay as close to the fire, the campfire, as often as you can and get your team there as well. Surround yourself with this positivity, with like-minded people. And then the last thing is connect with your upline. So last night on the 10 at 10, I talked about doing 3-way phone calls. I think that's an amazing way to be able to upgrade people on your team. That's another big takeaway from Team Elite University this weekend is you have a lot of people come in, but they're just kind of dipping their toe in the water, doing a post, seeing how this goes. So what you want to do is make sure those people really understand what the opportunity is that they have in their hands. And so, at the end of the day, set some goals for yourself as far as how many people you're going to share the opportunity with. Make sure you got some goals of how much sales volume you're going to do this month, right? Which pin title or which level in the business and the compensation plan are you going to reach, and work with your upline because we're here to help you. So with that, I'm going to finish up and pass it over to Blake, who's going to give us essentially a step-by-step of how you can take someone from beginner to doing their LOI, which is their first 1,000 points of volume.
Thanks, Nick. That was awesome. So yeah, that's a question that I get every single day, is what Nick just went over, is what do I do every day? Like, I've done my first post, now what, right? and really it's people, I think they are kind of waiting for us as leaders to kind of give you the secret sauce, to tell you what we really did. Artemis actually did a call yesterday, and she said that she'll get emails and messages from people and they say, I want to go really fast right now, and it's like, okay, well, you're doing all the things that I've told you to do. There's no secret sauce. There's no magic pill. There's nothing that you can do to make this just go really, really fast. You just need to keep doing what we've been kind of taught you to do. And that's exactly what we did. It's not like I would hold that back. If I had some secret pill that you could take that would, make you a Ruby instantly, I'd be sell that pill to every single one of you. But a lot of people ask, what can I do to get my new people excited? Or what can I do to get my new people to understand the opportunity? And really, honestly, at the very beginning of this business, it's on you as a leader who just invited someone new to help them to understand and help them to see the vision. People aren't going to come in, do their first post and understand what, the potential of this vehicle is. They're not going to think that they could make, $5, $10, $15,000 plus a month. They're going to think, okay, great, I can make a couple $100 extra. So the way to get somebody excited is to create something that they have to lose. So the way that it's been phrased is Nathan Ricks always says that the fear of loss is greater than the prospect of gain. And what that's going to do is, when you build a team with somebody, when you help someone get started and they immediately have somebody that's with them that they know, or someone that they sponsored, they're going to be much less likely to quit because they've started to build something, and they're going to become much more self-interested in their own business. So I'm actually going to send a chat here to kind of show you guys. I'll post this in the executive LOI group, and I'll post it, wherever you guys want. If you want me to send it to you later. But this is my 5-step guide to taking someone from a new distributor to an LOI. Okay. And the goal is really just to have them replicate this enough that they can become an executive in their business. So the first thing that you do, when someone signs up, the first thing you need to understand is you're not recruiting a new executive. You're not recruiting a new LOI even. What you're recruiting is a new person that is trying out social selling. So that's where this all starts. You help them do their first post, and it's on you as the person that has some experience to ensure that they can have the most success possible with that first post. So help them make the post public, help them get 10 likes and 10 comments, help them through kind of some of the steps after they've gotten some sales to make sure they know how to process those sales, collect the money, and so forth. All that's on you. And all that's really part of the first post. The second post, now your person's a pro, right? They've done one post, they know what to do. That's when you can kind of start to integrate them into like the Boost chat rooms and have them ask for their own boost. Make sure that they're in the chat or in the groups and that you've welcomed them and things like that. Same thing, help them through any of the other additional questions that they have. This is where things kind of get different, and this is where it's really step 3 is where people are really successful, or they get kind of scared or confused, or they do things and they lose a lot of people. Okay, so the number one place that you're going to lose people is on the recruiting post. I'm sure that you've all noticed that. You'll have a lot of people that they might sell a ton of product. They might do really, really well with their first and second post, but for whatever reason, they're apprehensive and they go into the witness protection program after that third step, right? When they go to do their recruiting post, and you can't get them on the phone, you can't talk to them, nothing, they disappear. So the way to bridge that gap is to actually talk with that person, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on, your messenger app or something like that. Let them know, hey, this went really, really well for you through your first and second post. The third post is something I'd like to talk with you about a little bit more. I actually have a new person in the group. She's done her first and second post. She's really excited. I'm calling her on the phone right after this call to talk with her about the recruiting post and to make sure that she has success with it and understands kind of what she's doing. And I'm going to have her put that post up while I'm on the phone with her, just to make sure that it goes up, right? Because after someone creates that post and someone joins their business, they have something to lose. They don't have sales to lose anymore. They've already processed those. After they have a new person that's looking to them for advice, they have to teach that person. So it's kind of like the way that, doctors learn. It's called the see one, do one, teach one method. So they watch you post, they come into the business through your post, you teach them how to post, and now you're helping them teach someone else. And that's how they learn the business better themselves and how their new people get into the business. So Ultimately, after that first recruiting post, I'll then invite people to do referral posts. So Nick's been a great example of teaching us how to do referral posts. He has an awesome video in the group. That's what I would expose them to. Show them what a referral post is, kind of the mechanics of it. Jeff Zieselman, who's a team elite that was at TEU, says that he believes that during the first week, if a new person can do 5 referral posts, which is 1 referral post a day, then they'll be much less likely to quit. They'll be much more successful. They'll break into new circle groups. And as you as a leader, if that person quits, you'll be in 5 new circle groups of people. So it benefits both people. So the way to invite them to do that, the way that I encourage people to do that, is to think of the 5 people that they know that would do anything for them. Okay. So like if today your house flooded and you needed to go stay with somebody, if you were moving and you needed help moving, if you had a family emergency, who would you call? Those are your 5 people. Call those 5 people and ask them to do a referral post to help you build your business. I'll bet a lot of the people on the call may have been in for a couple of months, and you might not have done that yet. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. It might be something that you don't really want to do, but if you do it, it's going to be the best way to get into new circle groups of people that know you personally or know your friend personally. So if you can have a new person do that, they're going to have much more chances of success. Then what you do is you have them repeat step 1 through 4 with the 5 people that they brought in, with their customers, with the new people that come in through recruiting posts. And ultimately, if you can have them do that with about 4 to 5 people each, you're going to have a new executive, not a new LOI. So if you go out and you do your first and second post, you sell your first round of product, and you bring about 5 people into the group, that new person is going to LOI if they do that. Then if you help those 5 people do that same process and repeat it that same way, you're going to be a new executive. Now, not every single person is going to do this. This is just kind of a perfect example of what could happen. But if you go through and you really are curious about how to keep your new people engaged, if you're curious about what you want to have people do as far as like a checklist, this is it. If you can complete these 5 steps in the first week with a new person, then even if that person doesn't become interested in becoming an LOI or an executive, you're going to have a whole new group of people that you can work with and a whole new group of customers that you can follow up with. So that's really what I wanted to go over. I know that I went over a lot of information really fast. And like I said, if you want those 5 steps, I can send them to you. These are my goals with new people, and these are what I try to do. With that, we're really new. We've been doing this now for about 5 months. It's something that a lot of you may have seen some of the new leaders or some of the longer term leaders like Jeff Mack and Nathan and Brent. But we've been in this really ultimately for about 5 months. And we wanted to have Brent on just to talk a little bit about the long game. He's done this for 28 years, been super successful, made $20 million. So Dad, we just wanted to have you on just to kind of maybe share a little bit about that and how it's been for the last several years being in the business.
Well, Blake, the business is always the same. It's what I love about the business is there's really only 4 things that you have to learn to navigate. And, every business, and this is on the business side of this, I've believed for quite some time that really there's 2 businesses here. There's the posting and selling business and the building a distribution organization business. And they're 2 kind of different businesses. Posting and selling is it's going to have its ups and downs. You're going to have to kind of rebuild your influence. You're going to have a certain number of customers. You're going to want to really take care of those customers. There's going to be reorders. The bigger that customer group gets, the more steady your selling is going to be. And then there's the business of helping other people learn that selling business and kind of being in the distribution business. It's like the difference between, standing behind the desk at a 7-Eleven and actually owning the 7-Eleven versus, having a chain of 7-Elevens. The challenge is with this business is that we do all of those, we wear all those hats. I sell, I'm constantly talking about whitening toothpaste. I got an email today from a brand new customer, a guy that I told about whitening toothpaste just a couple days ago, and he loves it. And he's got his wife started and they wanted another tube. So, I'm doing that. And then the second part is that you're trying to recruit good people to stand behind that counter, and have their own business, and you're trying to train them up. You're trying to help them understand where to get information and, And that becomes a little bit of a distraction. It feels busy. And that is a really dangerous place to be, feeling busy and not being productive. What we do as distributors is we sell product and recruit people, and they're really the only two things that mean anything. We recruit new customers, we recruit new distributors. And unless we're doing that, every day, every couple of days, then it's like jumping out of the pool and feeling cold and not wanting to get back in, and then 2, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days go past without talking to somebody new. And then it just, makes it even more challenging to like get back in the groove. So the 4 things that you have to navigate is the first thing you got to navigate is just people are going to say no. People don't understand who we are. They don't understand what we do. And that's why Nu Skin pays us, is to go out and describe that, both our products and our opportunity. And that is, there's a certain risk, there's a certain standing in what you believe and what somebody else believes. And in that space, there's a certain amount of risk of rejection. Some people do better with rejection than other people. And we live in a world now where rejection isn't as sharp because we're able to make an offer in social media, and we're able to make an offer by text. And in some ways that rejection, having somebody say no is just not as sharp, but it's still there. And the risk of it's still there. And in the back of our brain, like in our DNA, we're wired to be tribal. Going back forever, we want to be part of the group, because if we weren't part of the group, well, then we didn't get to sit by the fire. And if you didn't get to sit by the fire, then you didn't get dinner and you starved to death. And back in our kind of lizard brain, really, there's those thoughts, that if people don't love every single thing we do, then somehow we're doing the wrong things. It's typically people that get past that do really, really well. It's typically people that they don't care what the other crabs are doing. They don't care if they're trying to pull them back in the bucket. They don't really care whether they're going to have to build their own fire, kill their own wildebeest. They just kind of, go the distance, and rejection doesn't, it pings off of them, or they get used to it. And it's not that the task of being told no changes. It's that it gets easier as you go. You get more belief. This is why we do events. This is why we do these kind of calls, because what we're doing is we're putting on belief. We're zipping up your alligator suit so that when you go out and you face that first barrier of entry into success in this business, that you're armor plated. You're an alligator. You're tough. You believe in the business, you believe in the products, and therefore you're able to navigate that first barrier. Every business has a barrier. The business I was in was Subway Sandwich. The barrier was capital and locations. If you're going to be a doctor, the barrier of entry is education and frankly, money to get that education. Every single business has a barrier, and the taller the barrier, the bigger the reward. And that's the way the world works. So, what are the barriers? What do you have to navigate to go the distance? What do you have to turn this into a marathon instead of a sprint, and go the distance and be gritty? Well, you got to navigate rejection first. The second thing you've got to navigate is attrition. And in the world we live in, where it's zero in and instantly out, I mean, nobody's putting any money in this. So, they're not really distributors. They have an ID and they sell some quick toothpaste and make some money, but they don't even really know what they're doing. I mean, that sounds so horrible. They don't know what they're involved in. They really don't know the vehicle, if that makes sense. And there's no skin in the game. So attrition, the number of people that are going to quit, is going to be way higher. And that's just a fact. You just kind of have to get used to it. and stay in contact with them and realize that their life's going to cycle and they're going to come back around and want to sell some toothpaste. They're going to have people ask for reorders. Those people are going to cycle back through the business if you're willing to stay in contact with them. You just need to realize that they never really got a good, proper, solid, exposure to the business. They got an exposure to the products. They made a little bit of money, but they never really saw the big picture, some of them. So having some of your people feel like they're not doing anything, that's the second barrier. Just understanding that people are going to come and go, that it's a revolving door. I love the analogy, and I tried so hard to get Jeff Mack to talk about the tree. And maybe he'll do that in the future. Maybe we'll have him on here and talk about how you think about this. You want to build a tree. You want to, put seeds down. You're going to have that tree grow up a little bit. You're going to take care of its roots. You're going to take care of its branch. Those are your leaders. Those are your executives. It doesn't really mean anything until somebody's an executive. That's why we do this call, and that's why we do it a little longer than the other stuff we do. Because you guys are leaders, you've paid a price, you've gone out, you've done the volumes, you've been in the business long enough to be called a leader. Now you're being paid on a group. You're the roots, you're the branches, you're the tree. Your customers and your sometimes social sellers, those are the leaves. They're going to come and go with the seasons, right? And you can't think about them. You just honestly can't. What you're doing is you're sifting through and looking for the next person that's going to become part of your tree, going to become one of the branches or one of the roots, one of the people that's going to stay long term. I love that analogy, and I love it when Jeff does it. It's spectacular because it's exactly this business. It is. And so the second barrier is attrition. I'm going to tell you this as directly as I can tell you it. People are going to quit. They're going to quit flossing their teeth. They're going to quit working out. They're going to quit getting up on time. They're going to quit everything. I mean, it's just human nature. It doesn't have anything to do with our business at all. It's just, you don't want to be one of them, right? You want to decide to take this on as climbing a mountain or getting a degree or completing anything, and you want to go the distance. And to do that, you're going to have to learn some skills, right? And one of them is navigating the disappointment of having somebody really good, really cool, sign up in your business and having them just go away. They just stop answering your calls. They just, they don't want to talk to you. And it feels kind of rotten. It feels like rejection, really. It feels like the first barrier. And I'm getting really on my soapbox here, but this is going to be over soon because there's only 2 more barriers. The next barrier is this apathy, okay? And you've heard me do this at Team Elite University, and I'm fleshing this out a little bit better. But this is the business. These are the 4 things. You only have to do 4 things. Navigate attrition or navigate rejection. Just understand you're going to be told no. Understand that people are going to quit. Understand that people are going to be apathetic. They're going to say they're going to do something. They're not going to do it, right? Just welcome to the world, right? It doesn't have anything to do with new skin. It has to do with life. It's just, there's 2 kinds of apathy that you've got to get over. You recruit these wonderful people and then they just don't do anything. They say they're going to do something. They don't do it. We'll go find new ones. And the second kind of apathy that you've got to navigate is your own. There's no PV or there's no PV or GV and TV is the way I express it. Really what it is the Game of Thrones is on Sunday night, and you're just probably not going to sit there and do anything but boost people. You're probably not going to recruit while it's on. It's just, there's going to be distractions. There's going to be things, and you've got to have a strategy to get yourself to do the more difficult things, which are reach out and tell people about the business. That's just the third barrier. It's just apathy's going to come. You're going to see it in yourself. and you're going to see it in other people. And it's just human nature. And our business is a people business. The last one is distractions, and they come in all forms. My poison is golf. I like to watch it. I like to play it. Everybody's going to have their poison, right? You're going to have a distraction that you've got to manage. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your wife. Maybe it's, maybe it's other stuff. Maybe it's, but everybody's going to have some kind of a distraction they need to manage. We've gone really long, and I'm just going to go through those right. We're just right at 33 minutes right now, but I'm going to go through those 4 one more time, and I want you to write them down. Okay. Rejection. Okay. This is rad. Okay. This is it. This is the education. It's rejection. People are going to say no. Get used to it. No is the new black, right? No is the new purple. It's just, do you want to go out and try to get no's? I hate that, actually. There's a book out there that's called Go for No, and I hate that book because I think you should be better at this than that. I think that you should be able to, describe it and be somewhat professional, and just to go out and try to get somebody to say no to you seems really wrong to me. The second one is attrition. People are going to quit. Get over it. Just, don't be one of them. Don't be the person that quits flossing your teeth. Don't be the person that just gives up. And then the third one is, don't be apathetic, and understand that other people are going to, and just be ambitious. Just turn that A into into ambition, and understand that this business is a great business, and if some girl in the UK can make $1 million, so can you. If I can make 20, you can make whatever you want. I mean, it's all about you. It's all about what you choose to do. If you can manage these 4 things, that last one, distractions, that thing is just, incredibly difficult to manage, regardless of whether you're building this business or Subway franchises or getting your education or whatever it is. Some things have more structure than this. This doesn't have a lot of structure. So you've got to figure out how to manage those 4 things kind of yourself, right? All right, there's the speech. It was inspiring.
No, that was awesome, Dad. I don't think you know how good that was. So like Brent said, I mean, we're a little bit over. Apologize for that, but we actually started the recording a little bit later. We missed the whole introduction, so that was good. So I think we're right at 30 minutes. So, everybody go out, I hope that this was helpful. I think that I learned a lot from Nick. I learned a lot from Brent. I even learned some things while I was talking myself, and I'm going to make a couple of adjustments to those 5 steps. So yeah, I hope that you guys got something out of this. I hope that it was worth your time. Once again, if you guys have questions about the rest of the month, if you guys want to set goals, if you have anything that you want to go over between here and the end of the month, get with Nick, get with me, get with Brent. If you connect with whoever you need to in order to set some goals and make some plans for next month and for the rest of this month. We really appreciate everything you guys do. I'm blown away by how busy we are the last couple of days. Every time I go to check a post, it's over 10 likes, it's over 10 comments, it's getting lots of action. I think the questions that in the group are getting answered by more and more people, so I'm really impressed. So thank you all for your teamwork and for everything that you're doing for each other. But once again, we are still here to help out. So for now, we'll let you guys go out and get to it, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Thanks, Blake.